What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today, you're talking sports with MG Nas. And today, we have the final position in our rankings, the center position. But before we get into today's video, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to Corrupt's channel. Link will be in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and now we have the man in the middle, the big man, the center position. But before we get into any of that, let's introduce our guest who's been doing every position with me so far. Corrupt, introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, I am Corrupt, and you should know me by now, but if you
Right?
don't, I am Corrupt, big Ravens fan, huge basketball fan, and this is the last of the
Mm-hmm.
positional ranking series, and I'm kind of sad, honestly. I want to do
Right?
more.
This is kind of fun, right? I wish it was more positions like football so we could keep doing it.
Yeah, right?
Yep. But hey, man, in a couple of days, we won't be worried about that because the NBA season is just a few days away. So
That's true.
that's gonna be
It's
interesting.
true.
But if you guys who've watched this series, you guys know how we do it. Before we even get into the top 10, we gotta start off with our honorable mentions. So, Corrupt, you know how this goes. Give us your honorable mentions for the centers.
Okay, now this, I don't know about MG. This
Hmm
was the hardest position for me
This
to
this was a
pick,
difficult one, especially at the
to
bottom
pick,
half.
especially the bottom half.
Hmm
But ultimately, I decided that my honorable mentions
Okay.
are Rashawn Holmes from
Ooh,
the Sacramento
Kings.
Kings,
Okay,
and then Miles Turner
I
from
like
the
it.
Indiana Pacers.
You know, I
Now,
told you before you get into that. I told you the other
huh?
day when I was making my centers list. One of the guys I was thinking of, you actually named the Miles Turner. I didn't think you give him any recognition.
He was on my 10 for he was number 10 for me for a while. Like he was
Oh,
number 10 for
but
me.
you had to
Then
change
last
some things.
second, last second, I switched. I
All
switched.
right, but explain that.
Now, now why? Miles Turner is a beast defensively. Oh my gosh.
Hmm
3.4 blocks per game, I think. Crazy. And Rashawn Holmes had a huge year, bro. He was one of
Yep.
those underrated players from the Kings. And yeah, he's on a bad Kings team, but hey, the man balled. He balled, bro. He
Yep.
averaged about 15 points on good efficiency. He just did his thing. He was a solid all-around player. I think this guy has potential. Same Miles Turner can easily be higher on this list too, by the way.
Yeah. And when my honorable mentions are Jarrett Allen and Miles Turner, two guys on the defensive side of the ball who get overshadowed, I feel like. Miles Turner, first off, leads the league in blocks per game. That's better than Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, guys who are constantly in Defensive Player of the Year conversations. So he has more blocks per game than all of them. And then Jared Allen, also a great rim protector who gets blocks
Great.
and is a big lob threat. I can't wait to see him next to Evan Mobley. That defensive, oh my God, him and Evan Mobley defensively, it's just gonna be insane. So those guys are my honorable mentions. I really love what they do on the defensive side. And Miles Turner has developed a 3-point shot as well to be able to stretch the floor over his career. So I mean, that's what you love to
Yeah,
see a guy who can stretch the floor. And Miles Turner, if he stays healthy, he's going to be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations. He's still like
every
we're
year.
26 years old. He's not even close to 30 years old yet. Like the guy's still a good defender, and if he keeps developing offensively, him and Sabonis could be a nice front court there. So
Yeah.
those are my honorable mentions. But Corrupts. Now we got the list of our top 10 centers. Who is your number 10 guy?
All right. Number 10 for me is Christian Wood. Now,
Ooh,
now,
Christian Wood.
Christian Wood, he he does have a small sample size of being in that top tier center conversation.
Right.
He only really got recognition from his last year with the Pistons and his only 46 games with the
With
Rockets.
Houston.
But
Right.
man, he looked good in that. He looked good in that.
Mm-hmm.
He looked pretty good defensively, and he can score at all three levels. He's a good mid-range
Yes.
guy. He's a great finisher, and he can hit the three too. He can
Oh,
hit the
yeah.
three
Oh,
too.
yeah, he can.
Christian Wood is a solid center, and given more time, he can definitely rise on the centers list.
All right. At number 10, I got the man Jonas Valanciunas. Listen, Jonas Valanciunas is one of the best rebounding centers in the league. Probably one of the top five, man. Other than like Andre Drummond, who also is a great rebounder. But Jonas Valanciunas, man, the guy can rebound the ball. He's become more better in the paint, and he can stretch the floor a little bit too. I mean, that's what I love out of him. And he's a decent rim protector. I'm honestly mad that the Grizzlies let him go. I feel like he was a great fit next to
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant and Dylan Brooks. So Jonas Valanciunas, man, very underrated player. He can do great things defensively, one of the best rebounders in the league, and he can stretch the floor offensively. Number 10 is the man, Jonas Valanciunas.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Number 9 for me though, it's
Okay.
Clint Capella.
Mmm.
Now this man, talk about a rebounder. That is Clint Capella. He
Right?
gets some boards, boy, and he's a
And,
good blocker too, rim
yeah, no,
protector.
no.
He ain't letting that happen. These guys, uh, um, honestly, I would value Clint Capella more than somebody like John Collins on the Hawks team, in my
Mm-hmm.
personal opinion.
Yeah.
Capella's good. He's getting you your points a night, bro. He's getting you points. He's doing great defensively. He's getting you boards. That's what you want from a big man like him. Clint Capella at number 9 for me. Why is he higher than Christian Wood? Because Christian Wood, one, got injured, and two, Christian Wood has a small sample size when Clint Capella's been doing his thing for a little bit.
At
So I'm
number
gonna give
9, I also have Clint Capella. I mean, the
nice.
guy on defense, you unless your name is Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, KarlAnthony Towns, maybe guy like Vucevic, you're not scoring
Okay.
on him. You're not scoring on him. I mean, the guy just he blocks shots against big men. If you're a guard, I mean, have a nice day trying to score on him. And then the rebounding, man. I mean, he's on a
Oh yeah.
Hawks team with Trey Young, who's shorter, so he has to do a lot of the rebounding. It's not John Collins that does the rebounding. So when you say you value him over John Collins, I don't get mad at that because of what he does with the rebounding on that team. He basically is their only great rebounder. And then when you look at the defensive side of the ball, the shot blocking ability, and his threat in the lob game, you can do a lot with that. When you develop a great pick and roll lob, you can open other things up for other players on your team. And that's why he is
Yeah.
a big value to the Hawks. And the Hawks better not get rid of him. I know the Mavs want Clint Capella so bad. Atlanta, if the GM is somehow watching this, please do not get rid of Clint Capella because his value on the team is just so great and he brings a lot. And he's honestly a big part why they made a big run. His defensive and
Yeah.
rebounding presence. So, number 9, Clint Capella.
Now number 8 for me is Jonas Valanciunas. And
Hey, there you go.
and honestly, why, dude? Did this just like MD said, bro? He's good defense. He getting them boards. He's a good scorer, bro. Especially he impressed me in the playoffs as well too.
Mm-hmm.
This man is just an all around good player. Now,
Mm-hmm.
why is he higher than Clint Capella and uh, Christian Wood? Well, first off, Christian Wood, like I said, has a small sample size of him
Mm-hmm.
being at this level. I think Jonas Valanciunas just first off, I think his stats are comparable offensively, and he's been doing it for about a couple of years with the Grizzlies. Now, what team is he on now?
The Pelicans.
The Pelicans. We'll
Mm.
see. Oh,
We'll
Zion and
see.
Valanciunas.
That we'll
Ooh,
see, man. We'll see. That's gonna be
ooh,
interesting
okay,
front court right there.
okay. And why is he higher than Clint Capella? He gets the
That
boards just
happens.
like him, bro. And I like his offensive scoring more than Capella, so that's why
Yep.
he is higher to me. So who's your number 8? Just
Well, we got the same guys from 10, 9, and 8, just flip flop. Because I got Christian Wood there. Listen, I know it's a small sample size, but I'm going to take that and
it's a
run
good
with it
one.
because what I've seen from Christian Wood with his skills is just insane. He can score from the three, he can shoot the mid range, and he can get good buckets in the post. And then what he's been doing, developing his defensive game and making himself more of a notable player. You love Christian Wood, man. The guy, if he can stay on the court, make sure he doesn't get injured like he did a little bit last year in Houston, and if he can keep doing what he's done the last 2 years with Detroit and Houston, Christian Wood is going to be considered a very, very great big man in the NBA. And he's still a young player who can just do so much more things in the league. Christian Wood, I know he has a smaller sample size than Capella and Valanciunas, but the skills are just there, man, and I just love it. Christian Wood is the number 8 guy.
Honestly, I don't hate that. Honestly, like I said, this player number 8 and down was
Hmm.
very hard for me to pick. At
Hmm.
8, 9, and 10, and including Miles Turner, I just didn't know. Like I was like,
Right,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna put him here. No, no, no. I
Yeah,
literally
it's
switched it
man.
a couple minutes ago. I switched this. I switched it. I let's switch it a little bit.
Yeah, man. And like I said, we both
Now,
got 10, 9, and 8, same thing, but it's just flip flop
yeah,
because all these guys are good, man. So number 7.
for me, number 7 is DeAndre Ayton. Now,
Mm,
this man. Actually, when I was researching him, I was kind of surprised because his stats were not on the level as somebody like a Christian Wood,
right.
Capello, or Valanciunas, but in the playoffs, he
Whew.
elevated his game, and to me, that is very important. I use that playoff argument a lot, like with guys like Donovan Mitchell, and what I saw
Hmm.
from Ayton was enough for me to put him up there. This man had game-winning logs,
Lobs.
he done, blocks. This guy was very good for them, and I think that if he can bring that momentum on, he's gonna be dang good for a while, man. And we're gonna see how the situation goes over there because I know he's asking a lot of money from the Suns.
Hmm.
But hey, he was a key part in that finals run for the Suns. Man,
Yep,
he would keep without him, they're not making it to the finals, in my opinion. So
I agree.
Aiton is number 7.
At number 7, I also have the man DeAndre Ayton, man. And when you talk about a guy who went from a pretty good center to a really, really good center, a borderline all-star talent in the playoffs, that's what you want. Listen, you can be an all-star player in the regular season. You can do all these great things in the regular season. And trust me, I love great regular season basketball, but when you do it in the playoffs and you do it better in the playoffs, that's what you love from Mr. DeAndre Ayton. Also, too, adding a mid-range shot this last season, trying to improve his game that way.
Oh yeah,
Getting a little bit of a floater there, doing what he does in the middle, being a great defensive presence in the defensive side of the ball, getting better. Because remember when DeAndre Ayton got drafted number 1, his biggest knock was defense, and he's gotten better every single year since then. And then the rebounding is also gotten better since he's came out of college too. DeAndre
he's
Ayton
improved
is
every
a
year.
guy who every single year he improves. Every single year. His first year, he improved his defense. His second year, he improved his rebounding. His third year, he improved his mid range shot. He keeps on improving, and he did it in the playoffs. And like you said, when you can elevate in the playoffs, that is a
Yeah,
big benefit for you and how you're going to get paid, like the contract situation that's going on for them right now. And you just love what DeAndre Ayton has done. If he can carry this and keep being a great playoff performer, man, he's gonna get paid for a long
yeah,
time in the NBA.
yeah. Now, who number
Number
6, and this is where we start
6.
getting this is where we start
Yeah,
getting
this
very
right
interested.
here. Mm.
Ooh, there is a cutoff from 7 to 6. There
Yeah,
is,
it is. It is.
and
Yup.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I got I wholeheartedly believe this though.
Okay.
Number 6 is Rudy Gobert. I I cannot tell you how much this man infuriates me. I I cannot tell you how much this guy is praised for having this Hall of Fame type of defense. And guess what he does? Almost every playoffs gets exposed by on defense. It's just, dude,
Hey.
everybody else on this list is better than him offensively. They
Oh,
just are.
100. 1
Unless Miles,
1,000,000%.
unless Miles Turner was on this list, literally everybody else was better than him offensively, man.
Yes.
This guy is
Yes.
literally only surviving by 14 points because of that pick and roll option, which works, but still, bro. That is literally how he's getting his 14 points. He's 7-2, and Donovan Mitchell's throwing it up to him. That's how he's getting those 14.
I mean, he's a one
And
dimensional on offense. Just pick and roll. That's the only way he can score. He
yeah,
can't back down, poke, none of that, bro.
and I'm going to give you this. Yes, he's a good defender, bro. But every year he gets exposed. But look, I cannot lie. Yes, he is a very big part of the Jazz. That's why he's this high on this list. He's number 6 because every year it seems like every year the Jazz just continue to surprise people. Honestly, who thought the Jazz would be the number 1 seed, right?
No, I did it.
And I have to give credit to Rudy Gobert and, of course, Donovan Mitchell. But I
Hmm.
have to give credit to Rudy Gobert. That's why he's 6. And why is he not higher? Well, I just listed my reasons, man. Exposed in the playoffs, doesn't show up, and one-dimensional on offense.
At number 6, I got Rudy Gobert too. Cause listen here,
Yeah.
listen here,
I love the
listen here.
slander. I love the slander. Let's go.
Listen, Rudy Gobert, if you're watching this, look. Honestly, bro, I do not hate Rudy Gobert. I don't hate him, but I have to keep it honest. Yes, he is a great defensive player, especially in the regular season. When you're talking about a great paint defender, Rudy Gobert is at the top of that list. He has to be Giannis, maybe AD. We brought up Miles Turner in his box, but Rudy Gobert can be up there in that conversation as well. That's why he's a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year. But the offensive liability, not only in the regular season but in the playoffs, it is a curse to the Utah Jazz. It is a big curse. Offensively, he is not great. And also, the reason why this last playoffs he got exposed is because when you run a 5 out against Rudy Gobert, which basically means you spread the floor and let somebody just attack the big man, he has to play more closer to the 3 point line where he gets exposed on the perimeter. And I know a lot of centers aren't great at perimeter defense, so that's not great, but it's you got the 5 out scheme is in the playoffs, it exposes him every single time. And listen, Rudy Gobert, great defensive splinter. Like I said, multiple time defensive player of the year, great. But the dude offensively is a liability, and in the playoffs he just is in the playoffs. He seems to find a way to hurt the Utah Jazz more than he helps them in the playoffs. So that's why he's number
I agree.
6. But still a great defender. I love what he brings. I actually feel like defense in this era should be a little bit more respected than it is, but
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately he
Oh, yeah.
isn't. He's one of like those traditional, like in the '90s. Rudy Gobert would be the best center in the league, well, other than Shaq and Hakeem. But he would be one of the most praised centers in the '90s because that's what they like. But at number 6, Rudy Gobert.
Man, before I say who my
5.
number 5 is, I have to say, this man is getting praised a lot. I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry, Josh. I have to put Nikola Vucevic at number
Vucevic.
5.
Yep.
I have to, man. I just like what the other guys in front of him bring more than Vucevic does. Now, Vucevic, I'm telling you this right now. This man, he's a great offensive threat. Oh my gosh. He's scoring everything. I think he's actually the best three-point shooter
For
on this
center.
list for center. I
Yeah.
think so.
He might be. I think he's.
Vucevic,
Ooh, Cat.
maybe
Cat.
Jokic. Maybe Jokic is close to him.
I think Cat might be closer.
Oh, maybe Jokic. Yeah, okay. But honestly, Vucevic is very good. I think he great efficiency from 3 point from anywhere, and he's
Hmm.
he's not a scrub on defense either. I just like what the other guys bring and what the other guys have done, especially in the playoffs. Now, can Vucevic do the same things in the playoffs? Yes, of course. But as the thing that kind of brings me down is the players in front of him are either one just like way better defensively, or two, is more talented, and which is one specific player. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's my number 5.
At number 5, I also have Nikola Vucevic.
Wow, that's
Look, man,
crazy.
the guy can
That's
stretch the
crazy.
floor very, very well. He can shoot the three ball, and I think that he also can shoot the mid range, and he can do stuff in the post. The defense can be questionable at sometimes, but he gets the job done, and he does get great rebounds. But I think him playing for the Magic, it did suck that he had to literally carry them. But he is a guy who has the ability to have 25 and 10 rebound games. He has that capability. He's done that mostly every single time with the Orlando Magic. With the Bulls, it took him time to get used to it. But a guy who can put up 25 points, 10 rebounds any given night at the center position, I think is great. And I think it's good for him and the Chicago Bulls that they got a top 5 center in the NBA. So that is why he is number 5.
Yeah, bro. This Vucevic is going to be a great help for the Bulls. I
Yep.
think he's going to be a big reason why the Bulls are going to make it deep into the playoffs, in my opinion. Now,
Right.
number 4 is my man, Bam Adebayo. Ooh,
Ooh,
ooh. This was close.
this
Like I said,
was.
3, 4, and 5 and 6 were close as hell.
Hmm.
I literally, couple minutes before this video started, I literally changed it up, and I kind of find it weird that I got nice and because I actually had Gobert 5 and Vucevic 6, so I changed that up.
Ooh.
Now, Bam, man. This man is good offensively and defensively. You probably go look at his defense a little bit more, but he's
Hmm.
still damn good offense. He's getting you 18 points a night on great efficiency, getting your 9 rebounds, 5 assists too. Is pretty good playmaker. Uh, and of course, he's great defensively. Now,
Hmm.
why is he higher than somebody like a Vucevic or Rudy Gobert? One, Bam Adebayo has showed up in the playoffs rather
Okay.
than Rudy Gobert, and actually has offense, unlike Rudy Gobert. Two, Vucevic. He's a way better defender than Vucevic, and he's had big moments in the playoffs, unlike Vucevic. Yes, I know Vucevic hasn't made the playoffs, but still, it's a point to be said.
Hmm.
And why are the other guys ahead of him? More talented, and of course, it's the two guys that we're about to talk about.
That two guys, yeah. The one of the biggest debates is the top two centers in the NBA,
Oh
but we'll
yeah,
get to
we'll
that
get
in
in
a
that.
second. At number 4, we got Bam Adebayo.
Wow, identical. This is wow.
Listen here about Bam. Bam Adebayo is a great defensive center, and honestly, he should be talked about more in the Defensive Player of the Year conversations. I mean, I think Miami Heat fans would agree with that, and the Corrupt. I know you're a big Adebayo guy as well. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And then offensively, he's added a little bit of a mid-range shot in the last year. The playoffs, this past playoffs was horrible. The whole Heat team played bad. Honestly, everyone. Jimmy,
Yeah, the whole team played trash.
Adebayo, freaking Trevor Ariza. I think one of these games was the Heat leading scorer in the playoffs. So that just goes to say. But look, man, Bam Adebayo can get you 18 points. He can score it in the paint. He's, like I said, added a mid-range shot a little bit there too. And the rebounding, he's not bad. Averages what, 9 a game. So
Yeah,
it's close to 10 rebounds a game. And then the playmaking. I didn't even know he averaged 5 assists until you just told me that. I didn't know he was that
yeah.
great of a playmaker. And then defensively, the guy, for being a little bit of an undersized center, the way he can defend is very, very impressive, especially against good offensive centers. So Bam Adebayo for me is the number 4 center in the NBA.
Now, number 3 is my boy Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, it was close between him and Bam, but
Hmm.
ultimately, what decided was just, bro, man, this man is just better than Bam offensively by a long shot. Honestly, I can't lie. He
Yeah,
just scores all 3 levels greatly. And why is he better than Vucevic? Because first off, I think talent wise, he's just better.
better,
Honestly,
more talented.
he's
Yeah.
just he's just better talent. And second off, I think he's a better playmaker, right? And KarlAnthony Towns is also, man, maybe it's just me, but I think Cat is more proven than Vucevic in my opinion.
Yep. 100%.
I think so, and but bro, at the same time though, we have not seen Cat. I don't think we've seen a fully like healthy Cat in 2 years.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
last year with COVID and messed up with his family, sadly. I think
Hmm.
that messed him up a little bit. And then a year before that, he got injured. I
Hmm.
think we're going to see full on Cat for the first time in a while. And
Yeah.
I think he's right. I think honestly, talent wise, he's right up there with these next two guys we're about to bring up.
At number 3, I also have the man Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, obviously, as a Sixers fan, y'all expect me to come up here and bash him because him and Embiid just don't like each other. But nah, man, Karl-Anthony Towns is a beast, man. He can score in the paint, good mid-range shot. But boy, can the man shoot that 3 ball well? I mean, people call Karl-Anthony Towns the best shooting center of all time, and that actually might not be wrong. The guy can really shoot the ball. I mean, he might be the best shooting big man on this list. And we got some good shooters as far as at the center position, especially over the last few years. But Karl-Anthony Towns, he can shoot the ball from the three. Great in the paint and the mid range. He's okay. And then the rebounding and defensive is not the best, especially defensively, not the greatest. But the way he has carried the Timberwolves team, but after Zach LaVine left, and then after Jimmy Butler left, the way he's carried that Timberwolves team, is great. And when he's healthy on the court, I think that he can even make more of a case that he is um, the third best center, that he is way better, not way better, but that he is definitely better than Bam, that he's definitely better than Vucevic. And now we're saying it's a little bit closer, but I think if Cat can be healthy, he will make a statement this season. He is number three.
So I actually do think Vucevic is a better shooter than Cat, but I still think Cat is the better player. Honestly, to me
Yeah,
personally, 3, 4, 5 after this season could all change. Honestly,
it really could. Yeah,
and 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 bro, this centers list besides 1 and 2 down could all change. Honestly,
yeah.
you know, this
Even
centers
one and
list is
two, those two guys could
maybe
just
maybe. Ooh,
dang.
you said that,
Oh,
MG? Okay,
oh yeah.
that's
Hey man,
interesting.
both of them. We're gonna get to them in a second, but both those guys are
Oh, well,
amazing.
speaking of, number 2 for me is Mr. MVP Joker, the Joker. Now, he just won MVP. How is he not number 1? I think the guy, and well, actually, you know what? I'll get to Joel Embiid why he's number 1 when I get to him.
Hmm.
Why is Jokic 2? Jokic is the best offensive big man in the NBA, I think, right now. He can score on all levels. Gets them rebounds, and he's a great playmaker. And he's leading the Nuggets every single year to at least
Hmm.
the second round. This man, there's a reason why he's MVP, guys. 26, 26 points per game on great efficiency. Jokic definitely deserves the number 2 spot.
At number two, I have Dwight Howard. No, I have Nikola Jokic. And I look, go ahead, bias, go ahead in the premiere chat in the comments. Go ahead, bias. But listen here, I'm gonna get to Joel in a second, like Karup said. Nikola Jokic is the best passing big man in the NBA. He's a great offensive player. He can score in the paint at a decent level. Got a good mid-range shot and a really good three-point shot. I mean, he has a really good shooting touch as well. Also, too, the way he can pass the ball is really good. But the defensive inconsistencies at times does get him. He's not like a horrible defender. Like he's not like
Not at
getting
all.
not a horrible but defender. But I don't think he is. I don't. He might not be a top five, top six, even top eight defender on this list. Just respectfully, but he offensively has all the talent in the world. The best passing big man probably of all time, definitely probably the best passing big of all time,
Oh,
and it's crazy that he's done it, and he's only been in the league for like what 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years,
yep.
and he's done amazing things. So Jokic is number two.
Now, Joel Embiid is my number 1 center. Why is he number 1 center? I will give Jokic this. I think Jokic is the better offensive player than Embiid. But I think what takes Embiid as the cake for number 1 is the defense that Embiid brings to the table. He's great at steals, great at blocks. He's man, and he's just better defensively than Jokic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's very good on offense too. In fact, he actually averaged more points per game than Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some problems I do have with him. For example, injuries. He needs to clean that up a little bit more, and he's always had that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, dude, Joel Embiid was the MVP candidate, number 1 MVP candidate before he got injured for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
This man can stretch too. He's not a scrub from 3. He's not
Mm-hmm.
a scrub from 3.
Yep.
He's great mid range wise. Oh my god, he's a highlight to watch in finishing, bro. And this man's giving it to you on defense, man. Joel
Mm-hmm.
Embiid is the process. And
Mm-hmm.
I just can't say no to the process. Joel Embiid is number 1.
At number one, ladies and gentlemen, we have. Let me adjust the hat. We have 7'2" from Yaoundé, Cameroon, by way of the University of Kansas, Joel
Oh,
Embiid. Joel Embiid. Now I watch literally every Sixers game for like the last 4 or 5 years. So go ahead, like I said, bias in the chat. Go ahead. We already know that's coming. But listen here, and when it comes to him being the best center, the reason why I have him at number one is because he puts up 28 points a game last year and gave you all NBA defense on the other side. He plays both sides of the court at an elite level. And that's why I have him over Jokic. Jokic, elite offensive player, but average defender. Embiid, elite offensively, elite defensively. That's what does it. Embiid, a better shot blocker, a better paint defender. And when it comes to in the paint, Duncan, Embiid's also better in that department. But we're not even here to have a debate. Let's talk about how Joel Embiid this past season elevated his game. When you talking about elevating his
Talk
game,
about it.
he got handles now. The way he was actually handling the ball, doing
Oh
nasty
God.
post moves. Come on. The way he dominated everyone this year in the mid range was the most impressive for me. All the post moves that he added in the mid range, the dribble step back that he did in the mid range a lot this year, the one legged fadeaway that he did this year. He elevated his game offensively to the next level and just put more effort in on the defensive side of the ball. Put himself
Yeah.
in as a you can argue a top five defender in the NBA and one of the best. And he was top five in scoring in the NBA with 28 points per game. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
center doing it all from the paint, amazing from the mid range, and he can still hit the outside shot against the Utah Jazz. It was my YouTube intro for a very long time where I had the shot where he took that three. I mean, the guy can do it all except for pass the ball. That's where Jokic does get an edge. But other than being a solid passer, Joel Embiid has it all on both sides of the floor. If he's healthy, he was the MVP last year. Call me biased, but I don't care. Embiid is number one.
All right, MG. We're at the end of our
Sucks.
journey. The positions journey. It's been a hard fighting journey. What do you think, MG, about just this list, these videos?
It sucks that it's gonna end, but I do love what we did here. If everyone enjoyed it, then I appreciate you all for watching. Everyone that's been typing in the premiere chat is great.
Oh yeah,
I like that I did a premiere for all of these, so that way during the like while everyone's watching it, we can all type and talk to each other at the same time. It's like the comment
oh
section
yeah.
where you gotta wait for someone to reply to a comment and all that. No, we're all typing at the same time, and it's great. I love what the premiere chat brings. Um, and I just appreciate everyone who's been hanging out in the premiere chat. I know Josh, B Hub, Big Play Slay's been there. Isaiah was in the last one, and a couple of other guys that I forgot. But everyone just coming, hanging out in the premiere chat, talking with us. It's just been good.
Yep.
So, your final thoughts on everything?
Also, shout out to some people like Jose and
Mm-hmm.
Brendan for also coming in, and for Eddie being a little brat. Also, everybody coming in. It was I had a very good time with it. Also, it's very fun. Yeah, bro, I really like this list. We can go back on it after the season's over.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, we can go and we can even do this again in the future, honestly. And
Yep.
it's kind of crazy to think about because in all three lists, we only had two players like not on the same list. Like
Mm-hmm.
like every position, we had at least all the players besides Karis LeVert and Jamal Murray for their list for their own
Mm-hmm.
person. And
Yep.
man, bro, it's kind of this is crazy. I hope to do this again with you, MG, because this
Yeah,
is
man.
awesome.
Maybe we could do something like this
Ooh,
during the All Star break or something.
maybe.
Maybe. But yeah, man. Appreciate everyone for watching. Corrupt his channel link is in the description. If you want to tell him how bad his list was compared to mine, be sure to do that. But yeah, man, we got. I just can't wait for the NBA season. We got the NFL season already. Now it's time for some basketball. Well, basketball that
Basketball.
counts. We got preseason, but basketball that counts. So can't wait for that. But hey, man, appreciate you all for watching and commenting and doing all the great things you do. Thanks for all the support, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad to say, but until next time, we are out.
You're out.
Peace.